Welcome, everybody, to the Entrepreneurial CPA show. Coming to you with some special episodes in the midst of COVID-19. Because we want you to be able to, break free of the box and still punch above your weight as you shift through this chaos. As always, I'm Garrett Wagner, your Entrepreneurial CPA channel co-host, Mr. Practical Knowledge. And Dr. Sean is still on a lockdown in somewhere in New Jersey. I believe New Jersey. Haven't heard it in a while. He's alive. So we're going special guest host, special series. And if you've watched part 1 and 2, we're going to Austin, Texas. You can tell by the Longhorn. Brian Strag, Calhoun Thompson Matza. Brian, let's dive into something really important before we get started.
All right.
How big of a Longhorn fan are you?
I'm a pretty big fan. I will say I've got friends that are much bigger fans than me, but we watch all the football games, try to watch as much of the baseball that we can, and live almost eyesight of the UT Tower. So it's a pretty big thing in my world.
How much love do you have for Bevo?
Oh, quite a bit. Quite a bit.
And now for people that don't know, most people, I don't know if they know who Bevo is, though. They might know who the University of Texas.
Yeah, so Bevo is our Longhorn mascot, the hook 'em horn thing. So yeah, that's and here you see it all the time.
But I think mascot's a little deceiving because Bevo isn't like a person in like a cow suit.
Well, there is actually one of my friends from high school actually went on to be that mascot when we were in college. So there is a stuffed one, but there's a big, massive bull cow that gets brought around to the games. At least he's still being brought around. There's talk. There are people that don't want that to happen anymore for animal reasons. But yeah, no, it's kind of fun. You can go watch him walk in and out of the stadium, and it's kind of cool. We've taken my cousin's kids down to get their pictures next to him and all that stuff.
So Brian, maybe, a special non-CPA related show we can get into is like playing the Tiger King theme. Maybe some like Bevo King, like behind the scenes of this, like, what do you think?
I could probably get you behind the scene.
Do you think we can get a worldwide Netflix sensation around like the craziness of Bevo? And
I think you could. There's a special like organization that takes care of him. That's usually like out of the Greek system at UT. It's like everybody's kind of nominated out of that pool of candidates. It's a pretty crazy group of kids.
I bet so. So Brian, let's bring this back from your love for Bevo into the accounting world, where you have another love. And something kind of was thinking about right now, there's a great quote by Wayne Gretzky that you don't skate to where the puck is, you got to skate to where the puck is going. And right now we're also focused on like payroll loans, the CARES Act, SBA stuff like today, because it's just the world's imploding. So with that, little skate to where the puck is going, if we stop looking just right today and we think about where the puck is going, the CARES Act is going down the pipeline. You read a lot of this, you post a lot of stuff on Twitter, you're very active. Where do you see where that puck is going that we as practitioners need to start thinking about, not just today, but tomorrow and beyond?
My first concern is the forgiveness of the PPP loans. And, there's a lot of factors that play into that. And then there's some other kind of pieces of the CARES Act that, not that they've been overlooked, it's just that they're not as immediately important, that I think people are going to kind of go refresh on some of those things like the NOLs and changes to the carryback rules for that.
I think we can argue they've been overlooked because the PPP is just like all anybody wants to talk about. So what are those overlooked areas that aren't PPP loans that can help CPAs just crush it with their clients and demonstrate actual value past one single project?
The two that come to mind first that I've got my eye on are the qualified improvement property changes for the depreciation and the NOL carrybacks. And, like I've been dealing actually this morning with a client that's got a 2018 NOL that we're, having to explain to him because he's not a tax guy. Oh, the law changed in 17 and then it changed a couple weeks ago. And in the middle of that, you had the loss that this applies to.
Yeah, so that can be crazy complicated.
It can. I mean, it's complicated for me. I had to like go pull the law back up and do some research before I had that conversation just to refresh my mind, because when it came out, I skimmed over that part because it wasn't as important and just kind of made that mental note. I'll get back to this later. And now later is here.
So if I'm a CPA, I'm a partner, whoever I am, I'm looking at that tax return. What's the red flag where that NOL look back is something that's going to be relevant to that client?
I think that starts with the 2018 tax year. So you can't just look at 19.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to look backwards. You got to pull open 18 returns as you're looking at 19 to look for that kind of information.
So that's something that inside a CPA firm, you could probably do, CCH calls it a data scan.
Yeah.
Data scan does an 18 returns for, did they have a loss, and help pre-sort that out a little.
Right. So that type of thing, and you're looking for your fixed assets and, did they have any of the qualified improvement property that was classified as, 39 year, but now it's 15 and eligible for bonus.
Okay.
And does it make sense to go back and amend 18?
Probably.
Some clients it won't.
But sometimes it could. You're still looking. I mean, I believe it's always a good thing. It's always better to tell the client, hey, you looked into that for them, to let them know that you're looking into something more than just like, I'm going to redo your return every year and not think about the past.
Yeah. And I think, for firms my size, kind of, 20 people, more than just one person, you got to make sure you're training your staff on these issues too, so that when they have the files open, they can they know to go look and flag that information.
Okay. What about the qualified improvement property? What should we be looking out for with that?
That is one of the ones I'm still getting my head around all the details, but, changing of that life from being a, real property, 39 year down to 15 and eligible for bonus, so then you're like going from depreciating over forever, basically, to expensing it immediately. That's a pretty drastic change.
And that should be great right now for some clients that are already short on cash to say, we're to accelerate that depreciation more than ever before. And that's a huge win. That's not going to, as a firm, that's not going to cost us anything.
And then it could have some interplay, because that could create a loss or a bigger loss in 18 that could depend on what do you do with that loss.
Goes back to the NOL provision we just talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not, they're not independent of each other. They can have some interplay.
And I think that's something, to go back to the Wayne Gretzky quote, if you really want to be the best hockey player or whatever, like, look to where the puck's going, your client's going to get through this payroll loan. That's a given, right? Within a couple weeks. I can imagine within 60 days, 90 days, this payroll loan thing will be over with.
Right.
They'll all get forgiven. We would have they got funded. We dealt with the forgiveness, and that's done. And now they're looking to say, okay, what do I do next? Well, next, it sounds like NOL look backs, qualified property, staff training. Any other provisions of the CARES Act?
Nothing is coming off the top of my head, but like we were talking a second ago, I've been so focused on the PPP loans and like, what's the calculation? So many people are just like, what goes into calculating getting the loan? I think now we're starting to turn that corner and say, what do we calculate to get forgiven? But it's kind of weird that we've put a month's worth of time to become experts in something that's pretty much going to go away in 8 weeks.
Yeah, a crazy, crazy short shelf life.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that goes back to a point you were just discussing offline, is it goes back to, for all of us as practitioners, like, stay on top of our knowledge. When we talk about investing in yourself, like, whatever it is, whether it's technical tech stuff, whether it's Tony Nitty that we both love at Forbes, whatever it is, like, keep on top of your knowledge. And that's what's going to get you through this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how you stay on top of it if you're not on social media, because the news organizations can't publish this information fast enough, as fast as it's changing and coming out.
No, they can't. They can't. All right, Brian. Well, any final words? You've been a guest co-host for 3 episodes now. Got to see things behind the scenes. Any final words for the audience?
First off, thank you, Garrett, for having me. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed it. And second off, when you get too tired of that cold weather up there, it's 90 degrees outside and beautiful here in Austin.
I've been to Austin before. I've actually been to a UT game before.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Believe it or not, I went to a live UT game before. It was fun. It was a good time, and it's an experience. I mean, it's not a massive stadium. I mean, it's big, but it's not. No,
it's just. When did you go? How long ago was it?
Jeez. Now you're gonna put the pressure on. 2010, maybe.
Okay, so yeah, most of the expansion had already taken place, so it was still But yeah, the funnest part of the pregame, the cookouts and the tailgates that happen.
Yes, and just Austin I will give you credit. Austin's just an amazing city.
Well, thanks.
It's just a little warm for my taste,
Well, we go up to Colorado in the heat of the summer, at least July, August, and escape for a few weeks.
See, with me, it'd be more I'm gonna leave Austin in March and come back around January. January, February, March, it's fine for me.
But then you missed the best part.
What, the summer? God, no.
Yeah. The weird thing, we kind of were talking about it offline, is there's no weekend things going on. This time of year, every weekend there is a street festival.
That's a part.
Something. And nothing is going on right now. That's
also,
craziest thing.
Brian, for out of the audience, if you enjoy Brian here, follow Brian on Twitter. He is a Twitter fiend. We talked about one of the earlier episodes. He's one of the top-ranked accountants on Twitter, around the country.
Yeah, it blows my mind, too.
Blows his mind, but he's the big dog on Twitter. So follow him on Twitter. Stay up to date. Stay safe during COVID-19. As always, click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay up to date with what's going on around. And we challenge you to take action to change the world and invest in yourself.